These are the most unusual beauty trends in history. Practices so strange they would make modern beauty enthusiasts gasp in horror. From poisonous face creams to gadgets that will leave you extremely shocked, today you will be extremely shocked. Join us as we take a look at each of these bizarre trends. Let's go. Number 11. Lead-based face powders. For nearly 4 centuries, European nobility chased a porcelain white complexion with a cosmetic that slowly killed them. Lead-based face powder known as Venetian ceruse, or the spirits of Saturn. This poisonous beauty product, popular from the Renaissance through the Victorian era, contained white lead carbonate, as its primary ingredient. Women applied thick layers daily, creating a stark white mask-like appearance that signaled wealth and refinement. The most coveted formulations came from Venice, where manufacturers guarded their recipes as valuable trade secrets. Queen Elizabeth I became the ultimate influencer for this deadly trend. Her iconic portraits show her chalk-white complexion, achieved through liberal application of lead-based powder. What these royal portraits don't reveal is the devastating physical toll. As the lead absorbed through her skin, the queen experienced hair loss, dental decay, and likely cognitive impairment in her later years. The immediate benefits of lead powder seemed impressive. It created a smooth, uniform appearance that covered blemishes and smallpox scars common in that era. The powder also had a slight sheen that mimicked the look of porcelain, highly desirable when fine china was the height of luxury. Some formulations included mercury compounds for extra brightening effects, adding another deadly toxin to the mix. Number 10. Black teeth in feudal Japan. While Europeans were busy poisoning themselves for white skin, Japanese nobility were doing something that would horrify modern dentists, deliberately blackening their teeth. This practice, called ohaguro, involved drinking an iron-based black dye mixed with cinnamon and other spices that permanently stained the teeth jet black. The practice became especially popular during the Heian period, 794 to 1185 CE. Married women, aristocrats, and geishas would carefully apply the smelly mixture using bamboo brushes. Unlike many beauty trends that were purely cosmetic, ohaguro actually had practical benefits. The iron helped prevent tooth decay in an era before modern dentistry. While Europeans were busy poisoning themselves for white skin, Japanese nobility were doing something that would horrify modern dentists, deliberately blackening their teeth. This practice, called ohaguro, involved drinking an iron-based black dye mixed with cinnamon and other spices that permanently stained the teeth jet black. The practice became especially popular during the Heian period, 794 to 1185 CE. Married women, aristocrats, and geishas would carefully apply the smelly mixture using bamboo brushes. Unlike many beauty trends that were purely cosmetic, ohaguro actually had practical benefits. The iron helped prevent tooth decay in an era before modern dentistry. Samurai warriors even adopted black teeth as a symbol of loyalty to their lords. Young women would blacken their teeth upon marriage, signaling they were no longer available. The process was painful and had to be reapplied every few days to maintain the inky darkness. Number 9. Fatal dieting. Victorian women didn't just want slim figures. They were willing to risk their lives for them by intentionally infecting themselves with intestinal parasites. Welcome to perhaps the most dangerous crash diet in human history. The tapeworm diet gained shocking popularity in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Women would purposely ingest tapeworm eggs or segments, usually disguised in pill form, and marketed with enticing names like sanitized tapeworms or slimming pills. The parasites would then grow inside the intestines, potentially reaching lengths of 20 to 30 feet, consuming a portion of whatever the host ate. These diet pills were advertised in ladies' magazines with slogans like, "Eat whatever you want and still lose weight." What the advertisements failed to mention were the horrific side effects. Severe abdominal pain, dangerous nutritional deficiencies, intestinal blockages, and even death when the worms migrated to vital organs like the brain. When women decided they'd lost enough weight, removing the tapeworms became another dangerous ordeal. Some doctors prescribed toxic substances to kill the worms, while others recommended bizarre techniques like holding milk near the patient's mouth, believing the tapeworm would be attracted toward it for extraction. These cures often proved as dangerous as the initial infection. I have a question for you. First, I would like to say that it is possible to follow the greatest curiosities of our world every day. But to do so, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, are you already subscribed? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Also, take the opportunity to like the video so YouTube will recommend more videos from our channel, so leave your like right now. And now that you've done that, let's go. Number 8. Long fingernails. In ancient China, during the Zhou dynasty, 1046 to 256 BCE, those super long nails weren't just a fashion statement. They were walking billboards that screamed, "I'm too rich to work." The aristocrats flaunted natural nails growing up to 5 inches long, which practically announced to everyone, "See these? They prove I don't need to do manual labor." Men and women both participated in this trend, showing off their privileged lifestyle through impossibly impractical fingertips. But maintaining these status symbol nails wasn't simple. The wealthy wore nail guards crafted from precious metals, gold, silver, jade, to protect their delicate status symbols. These elaborate protective cases often featured intricate designs and jewels, turning functional protection into another opportunity to flaunt wealth. The nail color system worked like a medieval traffic light. Red, gold, black, reserved exclusively for royalty and aristocrats. Commoners caught wearing these forbidden colors faced severe punishments, sometimes even execution. The lower classes were restricted to light pink shades only, creating a visible color-coded class system visible on everyone's hands. Number 7. Killer corsets. The tiny waisted silhouettes in Victorian paintings weren't just artistic license. They were the result of one of history's most physically destructive fashion trends: extreme corsetry. While supportive undergarments had existed for centuries, corsets reached peak extremity during the Victorian era, 1837 to 1901. During this period, the ideal female waist measured a nearly impossible 18 inches, smaller than a modern vinyl record. Achieving this required gradually training the waist through increasingly tight lacing from childhood onward. The construction of these body-altering garments was a feat of engineering. Using steel or whalebone stays, rigid supports, layers of stiffened fabric, and intricate lacing systems, corsets literally reshaped the female torso. The most extreme designs featured front metal busks for additional rigidity and complex pulley systems that allowed women to tighten their own corsets to the absolute limit of physical tolerance. The health consequences were severe and well documented. The compression displaced internal organs, pushing the liver and stomach downward while compressing the lungs' lower lobes. Victorian medical journals documented conditions specifically attributed to corseting, including corset liver, visible groove marks on autopsied livers, and corset lung, restricted breathing capacity leading to chronic respiratory issues. Number 6. Radioactive beauty products of the 1920s. The 1920s brought a dangerous new glow to the beauty world, literally. After the discovery of radium, companies rushed to include radioactive ingredients in everything from face creams to toothpaste. These products promised to revitalize skin cells using the power of radiation. The most famous was Thoradia, a French beauty line containing thorium and radium. Their face cream promised to brighten the complexion, erase wrinkles, and stimulate cellular activity. Women happily slathered radioactive substances on their faces, completely unaware they were exposing themselves to cancer-causing radiation. Duramid radioactive toothpaste boasted that its thorium content would destroy bacteria and give teeth a brilliant shine. The packaging proudly declared its radioactive content as a selling point. Beauty spas offered radium treatments, where women would sit in radioactive mud baths. Cosmetics weren't the only radioactive products. The Radiandocrinator was a small case containing radium that men placed near their testicles at night to increase vitality. Meanwhile, women used radium-containing suppositories for feminine problems. Number 5. Foot binding in Imperial China. Perhaps no beauty practice was as excruciatingly painful as foot binding in ancient China. Beginning around the 10th century, young girls as young as 4 had their feet broken and bound tightly with bandages to create the coveted lotus feet. Tiny feet that ideally measured just 3 inches long. The process was brutal. Toes were folded under the foot, breaking the bones. Bandages were wrapped tightly and regularly tightened, forcing the foot to grow into an unnatural triangle shape. Girls endured excruciating pain, infection, and limited mobility for life, all in pursuit of the golden lotus ideal. Bound feet became status symbols. They showed a woman didn't need to work and could be supported by a wealthy family. Walking with bound feet produced a distinctive swaying gait described as graceful and considered highly erotic. Marriage prospects depended heavily on foot size, with smaller feet commanding better matches. Number 4. Belladonna eye drops for dilated pupils. Renaissance women had a peculiar beauty trick for achieving wide, dew-like eyes. They regularly applied drops made from the deadly nightshade plant, Atropa belladonna, directly into their eyes. The name belladonna literally means beautiful woman in Italian, referencing this cosmetic use. The active compound atropine causes pupil dilation that makes eyes appear larger and creates a dreamy, slightly disoriented look that was considered highly attractive. Women would carefully extract juice from belladonna berries and apply it before social events, despite the risk of permanent blindness. Italian courtesans pioneered the technique in the 15th century, with Venetian prostitutes being particularly famous for their entrancing, unnaturally dark eyes. The practice spread throughout Europe's nobility, with Queen Elizabeth I reportedly using belladonna drops before public appearances. Number 3. Crocodile dung cosmetics. Ancient Egyptian beauty routines went to some truly unexpected places, specifically to the riverbanks where crocodiles left their droppings. That's right, crocodile poop was a prized cosmetic ingredient in Cleopatra's day. Collected fresh from the Nile's shores, crocodile dung underwent specific processing before reaching royal vanities. Workers would dry the excrement in the hot Egyptian sun, then grind it into a fine powder. This powder was then mixed with various substances, depending on its intended use. Antimony for eyeliner, red ochre for lip stains, or mud and honey for face masks. As an eyeshadow or kohl eyeliner, the processed dung created a dramatic smoky eye effect that Egyptian nobility coveted. The dark, slightly iridescent powder helped achieve the almond-shaped eye enhancement seen in ancient paintings and hieroglyphics. Women and men alike used it for ceremonial events and daily beauty enhancement. The facial applications were even more surprising. Mixed with mud and honey, crocodile dung became a premium face mask believed to reduce wrinkles, brighten complexion, and treat skin conditions. The ancient Egyptians believed the powerful predator's waste contained special properties that transferred strength and vitality to the skin. Number 2. Dimple machines in the 1930s. By the 1930s, dimples had become so desirable that women turned to bizarre mechanical devices that promised to create artificial dimples. The most popular was the dimple maker, invented by Isabella Gilbert of Rochester, New York. A spring-loaded metal contraption that pressed down on the cheeks. Users were instructed to wear these devices for several minutes each day, believing that the constant pressure would eventually create permanent dimples. The machine resembled a medieval torture device, with sharp spikes that dug into the skin while metal bars pressed against the cheeks from the outside. Department stores held demonstrations where women could try out these devices, and mail-order catalogs sold various models, promising natural-looking dimples in just a few weeks. Some versions included multiple pressure points to create specific dimple patterns, allowing women to choose their preferred dimple style. The American Medical Association eventually condemned these devices, warning that they could cause facial paralysis and permanent tissue damage. Despite these warnings, dimple machines remained popular throughout the decade, with some women using them at night despite the risk of serious injury. Number 1. Sulfur hair curling in ancient Rome. Roman women achieved elaborate curled hairstyles through a dangerous process involving sulfur-based solutions. The procedure, described in several Roman beauty texts, required applying a paste made from sulfur, lime, and various oils to straight hair before using heated metal rods. The chemical reaction between the sulfur mixture and hot metal created noxious fumes that could cause unconsciousness or death in poorly ventilated rooms. Dedicated curl rooms were built in wealthy households with special ventilation systems to prevent poisoning. Slaves tasked with applying the treatment often suffered severe respiratory problems. The most expensive treatments used imported sulfur from Sicily's volcanoes, believed to produce the most durable curls. Women would spend hours undergoing the process, with some styles requiring multiple applications over several days. The resulting curls could last for weeks but often left hair severely damaged and discolored. Status was measured by the complexity of curls achieved, with some wealthy women wearing wigs made from slave hair that had undergone multiple sulfur treatments. The practice was so hazardous that several Roman emperors attempted to regulate it, though these efforts largely failed. Archaeological evidence includes specialized bronze curling tools and sulfur-stained hair combs, indicating how widespread this dangerous beauty practice became throughout the Roman Empire. And if you were shocked to learn about the most unusual beauties in our history, how about learning about medical practices from the Middle Ages? You'll be completely terrified by the bizarre things from centuries ago. So click now to watch. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious One.